Good morning, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share the video if you found it helpful. Give a thumbs up. Pass it on if you believe someone else would benefit from this video. I'd appreciate it. I want to talk about God showing up and showing out in your life, the life of a believer. And many times a person who hasn't come to the point of believing in God wholeheartedly, or let's say consciously. You grew up with good morals. You grew up in a home that had pretty decent standards. Although you did your thing, you were you were in and out of standards and the disciplines that you were taught. You were just growing up into maturity. You wasn't hell-bent on destructive things and destructive behavior, burning bridges, doing people wrong needlessly. You didn't get a kick out of that. But although you did do some of these things, a lot of it was learned behavior. A lot of it was because of the sin nature within you. But overall, you didn't have, you didn't have a demonic agenda. That's the difference in a person who has been destined and determined by God to bring about change in this world. But first, the change has to happen in you. Now, back to not really wholeheartedly, consciously believing in God. You didn't denounce God. You were on the outside. You were on the outside looking in at people who were worshiping, carrying on in their Islam belief, Catholic belief, Protestant, Christian belief, Judaism, Buddhism, witchcraft, you name it, Wiccan. There's several religions in the world. I didn't know of a lot of them until I went to prison. So that, I believe, God by design allowed to happen, not just the prison stint. It was a lot of benefits to going to prison. One big benefit was learning about all of these religions that I would have not known existed had I not gone to prison. And it did other things to enhance my maturity and my faith in God as well. That aided in the fact that when I got out, I had a relationship with God that the church in the world, formalized religion, didn't have a part in, so they couldn't take credit for it. So you'll find a lot of us believers who are walking out of the church, like myself, because we didn't establish our faith so much in that church or in the formalized mechanical church. We formed our religion, or not our religion, we formed our faith. I misspoke. We formed our faith and our belief system in God based on our isolation, be it prison or homeless, whatever. See, as an empath, you are destined and determined for great things. And those great things are not great things that you think are great. They're the great things that God has by design and by purpose put into your life. You just haven't discovered them yet. And that's the beautiful thing about growing into your purpose. And this is how God begins to show up. Excuse me. Been out in the weather a lot this week, so probably getting a little bit under weather. But I get choked up talking about God, though. So you are all you are all in. You just don't know it yet. And so when you grow into your maturity, God begins to show up and show out in your life. I had my lights turned off here most recently. That's not why I haven't been on YouTube or whatnot and doing content. I've been very busy doing things. I've been in deep isolation for other reasons, because I look at this world in a real way. And when I say a real way, in the way that God wants us empaths awakened to look at this world. And I am not here to try to bring anybody down with this eye-opening discovery. It's not, on the contrary, I'm trying to wake you up, not put you down. Wake you up to the realities of what we actually see in the world is not what is really going on. And a lot of us awakened empaths who know this, you will hear this emphatically from us, repetitively from us, because every day is a new day dawning. We see things, the scales are off. We see things for what they are, not what we want them to be. We walk into what we want the world to be, because we bring about that change we want to see in the world. So you have to dig deep and understand that you are the change you want to see in the world. And unless you begin to first accept that these things you see in this world are delusional, and they're just facades that are designed to keep us doing things a certain way and in a certain order for those powers that be, which is Satan. He's the prince of the air, and God has said this. And so for a time anyway, but God is bringing about a reckoning. And that's my whole point in bringing this video to you guys this morning. I want you to know that when you wake up on a daily, you have to understand that God is about to show up and show out. And he's about to do some things in your life that you couldn't otherwise do on your own. And then this is going to bring about your belief in him in a brand new, fresh, real way. There's no church is going to understand what you see and what you're doing. They're going to be confused by it. They're not going to endorse your approach. They're not going to sign on to what you're doing, but they're going to do on the contrary. They're going to be the opposition. The churches are going to be the opposition of those who are truly awakened to who God is. It is already happening. It happened when Christ walked the earth. Think about it. The man did no harm. He meant no harm. But his message was harmful. He saw things that people wish they could see. It even says in the Bible that he spoke like no man had spoken before. That in itself is an offense. When you come on the scene and you begin to speak, almost like us empath chosen ones awaken, he said, these and greater works shall you do of my name's sake. Now think about that. What is the greater works of Christ did? What he did, healed, did this, did that, and it caused, walked on water. He did these miraculous things that were never done before or since. How is it that we're going to do greater works? The greater works that we are going to do is we're going to have people mind boggled. Not just amazed at the progress and the persistence and the way we have by the grace of God of being resilient and bouncing back. People are going to be mind boggled by that. And the beautiful thing about that is when it's happening, God is not going to allow us to see it wholeheartedly in and of ourselves as it's happening in our life. We will see it and recognize and be conscious of it, but the totality and the greatness and the grandness of it, he will allow the naysayers and the onlookers to see it in full effect. They'll see it on the big screen. And today I'm not wearing my glasses. I just decided to go at it without the glasses. I have the phone at a distance, and for some reason I'm beginning to on this video I'm able to do my due diligence. It may be just because of the mood and the mode I'm in right now. I'm just starting my morning. It's a very, very heavy weight lifted when you can see that these burdens that a lot of people are up under with finances, whether they got money, they're not satisfied, whether they're in need of money and certain things that they think they need, they're not content. So it's not even about the finances and being well off or having the things they want, because the thing that all of us, humanity in general, is in pursuit of is peace. Peace. Because when you got peace, doesn't matter. Your lights can be turned off. If you're able to function in the way that you functioned before those things ever occurred, those things have no power over you. And that's kind of how it happens with empath. You can lose that job. You can lose that relationship. You can lose a family member and still be strong enough to carry on. You can lose that car. You can have a health situation that happens to you. And you can be so resilient in those things You know, I look back at the totality of all of the injuries I've had within the last 5 years, and I'm just now able to say, wow, wow. Aching like crazy on a daily, but yet and still very little complaining. All I know is to just keep moving. And this is what God is going to do, show up and show out in your life when you continue to just do your due diligence and just focus on things around you that are happening by way of just the revelations God is showing you. They're not just figments of your imagination. Things are really, really grim by way of other human observations. When you're awakened and your eyes are open to certain things, you see things in a way that, you know, you feel, you have a heavy heart. You have a heavy heart for the most part, but you know you can't spend a lot of time grieving for those who don't really give a damn. You have to protect those that God has put and entrusted in your life. You have to be the overseer. You have to be the big brother. You have to be the watchman over these guys because he's looking for us to bring about a right to the wrongs. And so continue to just watch God show up and show out in your life. So these things that most people consider like just total nightmares and disastrous situations, you and I, empath chosen ones, awaken, we take it like like a duck with water on its back, and we keep on persisting. So this message is just to keep you informed that, you know, you're going to go through some things, but keep the faith and believe in God in a way that the world pretends to. But deep down in your spirit and your soul, you know you're connected. That being said, bless.